Hi, I'm Victor, and you're welcome to another episode of the Japa Podcast. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm going to make a quick apology for the last episode. I noticed that the recording didn't turn out as great as I thought it had been, and it wasn't something I could have corrected, so I just had to upload it like that. That said, of course, on this podcast, we always have a guest who shares the experience as a Nigerian in the diaspora. So in this episode, I have with me a former colleague, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Okay, thank you, Victor. My name is Toyosi Ajayi. Um, I used to work for EcoBank before moving to the UK, where I studied, and now I work full time in the UK as a project officer. Um, yeah, that's it about me.
All right, thank you very much,
Yeah,
Toyosi, and I'm glad you agreed to do this.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course, on this podcast, I've thought about working in banking in Nigeria. I never mentioned the bank, but now you've mentioned the bank. Yes. So
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
no, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. I just never
Okay.
mentioned it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we worked together at EcoBank for a few months. I think you left the month I joined, right?
Yes. Yeah. That was 2022 December. Yeah.
2021.
No, 2022 December.
It's 2021.
I left 2022 December. Okay, yeah, sorry. 2021 December. Oh my God. 2021 December, and I resumed here in
Yes,
January 2022. Yeah, that's correct.
exactly.
That's
Because I
correct.
think it was December. I joined first week of December, and then you left the last. Was it the last week before? Were
Yeah,
you
the
not
last
there
week.
throughout? Yeah, the last week because it was around your
Yeah,
birthday.
yeah. I
Then
left
you said
around
you're
my,
going.
yeah.
I'm like, what's going on?
Oh God.
But it's fine. So nice
Yeah.
to have you on the pod. So
Thank you for having me.
yeah. So first, how have you been? What have you been up to? I mean, it's a weekend, so what have you done within the last week and stuff?
Okay, yeah. So this week or last week has been very very hectic, or was very hectic for me, because I had a lot of tasks to complete, and I had a limited amount of time to do them. So I could not do or go about my routine as usual. As a matter of fact, I could not even eat lunch for certain days, because I was actually like having to do a lot of things at the same time. So last week was really, really like I was dreading it, and but I'm thankful that I was able to, I mean, overcome the week, and we're getting to a new week. And this week, I think it's looking promising and it's looking better. Yeah.
So you won't be overwhelmed with work again.
No, not really, because I'm actually going to London this week, and I'm
Okay.
meeting up with a friend. So it looks like an exciting week already for me. So yeah.
All right. I hope you enjoy your London trip.
Yeah, I will.
So for me, this week I haven't done much, to be honest, because okay, I think I mentioned to you, so I basically finished studies. I'm still trying to. I'm not. I don't have a full-time job yet, so I have some
Yeah.
time on my hand,
Okay.
and I'm also trying to move houses. So it's been, you know how it is now.
Yeah, I do. I
You
totally
go check
get
out
it.
houses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But right now, I
Yeah.
think we are getting close because at least I have a property I told them I was interested in, and I've filled in some forms, and basically
They need to carry
I'm
out
waiting
the
for a
checks.
response.
Yeah.
Yes. So I hope this one comes true because I think I like the space and
Is,
yeah,
is,
but
is it close to the city and stuff?
it's not. I'm actually moving to a smaller city.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes. I'm
Okay.
moving to a smaller city. But of course, the German train station is fine. So if I need to be anywhere, I'll just hop on the train and I'll get there. So
Okay.
it's not a
All right.
problem. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So without wasting much time, let's dive right into it.
Okay.
How did your journey to the UK start?
Okay. So I would say my journey to the UK wasn't very very straight. As a matter of fact, I didn't like the United Kingdom for anything. I've always liked Canada, not for their code, but I mean I've always liked it as a country, and
Yeah.
yeah. So, but I tried moving to Canada, but some things didn't fall in place for me. They didn't give me the course I wanted, and I didn't like the course they gave me because I really wanted something to um where I'm going to have to learn and relearn, and at the same time, um, gain stuff for myself as an individual and have the material when I want to apply for jobs and all that. So, when I applied to the United Kingdom, my aunt actually was a number one factor because I had a family here and I felt I was going to feel at home applying to the United Kingdom. So that was why I was able to actually apply to the United Kingdom, and they gave me a really nice course, digital business, and I said, okay, yeah, this is nice, and I think I can go for it. So I think that's how it started actually. So
And that sounds interesting. And you said
yeah.
digital business. That's also a very interesting course
Hmm.
because everything is going digital, and
Yeah.
business is also very, very integral part of human life. And
Hmm.
I think once you study any business related thing, you have like, it kind of opens a lot of doors for people when you study things like that.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned trying Canada. I tried Canada too. And at least you got offered an admission. I don't think they didn't even offer me admission. I was like, but I think it's because I veered off from something completely different from what I studied. I was trying to explore something completely different. So I
Okay.
think that might have been it. Maybe I wasn't convincing enough that that I was going to fit in or something.
Okay.
But yeah, so you went to the UK because of your aunties. Is it safe for me to assume that you also lived in the same city your auntie lived, or
Yeah. So funny story.
okay?
Yeah, I actually so no, I didn't come to the UK because of her. I actually it was the number one factor for me
Yeah,
coming to the UK. I mean, whenever you're going like out of the country, you need to be with someone you are really comfortable with. So
it's important, yes.
she's my mom's sister, and I felt, oh, Manchester, she's in Manchester, and um Manchester is better, and it's not as noisy or as busy as London. So I think I'll go for it. And funny stories, I never ended up seeing her or staying with her or being with her. But I mean, that's another story for another day.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
But but you studied in Manchester and she lived in
Yes.
Manchester.
Yes. As a matter of fact, she just stays like 5 minutes away from my school. Yeah.
So why did you meet all through the times?
So I don't know. When I was in Nigeria, I'll always hear stories of people where their family members will leave them in the airport. Oh, mine didn't leave me in the airport, by the way. But
Yeah.
she actually wasn't too happy about me coming, and
Okay.
she didn't know how to hide it. So I just
Okay.
felt it's not necessary for me to go to her place or stay with her, and I
Yeah.
decided to stay with
Once
a
you notice the vibe, yeah.
yes. So I decided to stay with a complete stranger that took me in, and that is now my aunt here in the UK. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Very, very,
That's
very interesting.
interesting
Yeah.
because I mean, I wouldn't know why family relationships are very complicated sometimes.
Mm,
And just like you said, some people tell people come to the UK, come to the Canada, they abandon you. Do you know a
yes.
funny thing? I reached out to someone because my friend was traveling to, I'm not going to mention a
Okay.
country and in Europe, and I reached out to someone else who lives there. And basically, because my friend was struggling to get accommodation, and we didn't say let my friend come and stay with you. We basically said I was reaching out to see if there's any tips he can provide, maybe any
Mhm.
suggestions, maybe being that you are in this place, maybe you
Yes.
could know something. So it was
Hmm.
like, okay, connect me and my friend, connect us. I connected them, but he wouldn't respond. He won't
Hmm.
respond to me, he won't respond to my friend. So it's
Wow.
like, we never asked you for anything. All we are saying is, this person is coming to a place you've been to and you've lived here for a while.
Yeah.
Just basically give directions. Is there a website you can suggest so he can find a housing? Anything at all that you think could help him
Hmm.
find housing. We are not saying accommodating. We are not saying he
Yeah.
doesn't have enough money
Or
for
money.
accommodation. And
Yes.
this person completely ghosted.
Ignored. As a matter of fact, I feel a lot of people here. I mean, that's like diasporans, especially from
Yeah.
Nigerians. they're kind of very, very reluctant when it comes to sharing certain things with you. So my aunt, anybody would ask, did I ask her for money? No. As a matter of fact, I did a lot of things, everything by myself, coming and
Yeah.
everything. So it wasn't like I asked her for money and she decided to like just shank me and all that. No. But I've noticed that Nigerians, especially when you work with them, yeah, they don't want to they don't want you, it's like they don't want you to grow more than where they are, and they don't want you to I don't know, maybe it's a Nigerian thing. They don't want you to be more successful than they are, and they don't want you to know certain things that they didn't know as at the time when they
Yeah,
were
but
at your own
at a
stage.
certain level, yeah,
Yeah.
I see that, but it
So it's
doesn't make
terrible.
sense. It
Yeah,
doesn't
it
make
doesn't make
sense
sense. I mean,
because
I,
I think if I had something hard and I see a way I can make it easier for somebody, why
mm-hmm.
not do it? Sure, you
Exactly.
get. It
Exactly.
doesn't take it because it doesn't remove my experience. Sure, you
Yeah.
get. It doesn't
It doesn't
also
even
make
take
it
away anything from you. It
exactly. The only
doesn't.
thing it will take, if anything, is just time.
It doesn't.
Time to
That's
say,
true.
do this, do that. But you know one thing about time, it will pass. So if
Exactly.
I don't use that time to say, guide someone, that time will pass.
Exactly. And that person will never forget you. I mean, I have a friend here that gave me tips about applying to UK government as a civil servant. And oh
Yeah.
my god, she gave me so many tips, and it was like I've never met anyone like her. I mean, shout out to Adenike. Like, it was like I've never met anyone like her before. She gave me a lot of tips. Like, she even had to place a call to me to explain to me about certain things. And by the way, I got the job. Like, I'm just on a reserve list, but I got the job. I mean,
Yeah.
those kind of people that you meet and you're like, okay, this is new for a Nigerian. I mean, you know, it's just unusual for you to meet certain people like that. I mean, when you meet them, you just have to like hold on to them tight because they are the real OGs.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And like you said, the fact that she helped you, she doesn't lose her job. So it
No,
doesn't exactly take anything from her.
exactly.
Just like the Adenike you mentioned, when I was
Yeah.
trying to apply to Canada, because usually that's what I did. When I wanted to, I considered a lot of countries. I basically had a list of countries, had a list of their usual application timelines, got everything I think I needed from each country, and they made a list of the investors I wanted to apply to for the countries I considered. So one of the things I did when I was doing my application was reach out to people on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I reached out to people that were in the schools that I wanted to apply to. I remember this lady, she's in a Canadian she had graduated from a Canadian university I was going to apply to. You know, the first thing she told me, I just thought I wanted to ask questions. She was like, okay, let me first of all send me your SOP. Let me help you go through it and see if I can make any suggestions. I'm
Exactly.
like, I don't know
Some
you.
people
So
are
you
just
get, I just reached
selfless.
out.
Yeah.
Exactly. And do you know, I've never been to Canada since then, but I check up on her sometimes. And last
Mm-hmm.
time she was like, she's trying to pivot into a different career. So she's taking classes. She asked
Yeah.
about how my journey in Canada, in Germany has
You were
been.
okay.
I don't know her. We've never even done a phone call. Basically, it's text. Sometimes
Wow.
she randomly texts me, I'm calling to check up on you. How did this go? How did that go? And
Wow.
that was it.
That's
And
amazing.
yes, and it's crazy when you see people who are doing the opposite because also I think like there's nothing you have to lose from helping
No,
anybody.
absolutely nothing, to be honest. I mean, it's nothing. It's basically, it's nothing. Nothing. But I mean, that's who they are.
And on the flip side is this, okay, even if you're not going to help, say you are not going to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just like if you reach out to me, okay, I'm struggling, I'm coming to this city where you live in. I am looking for a house. Can you help me? I can tell you I don't want to help. And even if I don't want to, I find a reason until I won't help you, as opposed to ghosting, as
Yes.
opposed to doing things, but then wearing this tight face and
I'll not be
having a
happy
like
about doing them. Yeah.
exactly. It
That's
doesn't make
just
sense.
disgusting, to be honest. It's a very disgusting habit. Once I know you have that kind of attitude or habit as a friend, I defriend you actually. I just delete you because it's not worth it. I
It's
mean,
not
it's
worth
not.
it. It's important to actually avoid those people for one's peace
Yeah.
of mind. So
Yeah.
let's talk about this your adopted auntie. Do you want to talk to
Okay.
us about how you met her and basically how she has been instrumental? Because I think it's also important to appreciate
Yeah.
people who have
Yes.
helped us and then share gospel
Yes.
of their good work. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. So I anywhere I go to, everywhere I've been to, I've always told people that she's part of my success story today. I always give a shout out to her. I met her through a friend actually. I met her through my friend Esther. She happens to be Esther's family friend, and we connected. She told her I wanted to come stay with her for certain time and all that, and she was like, okay, no problem, that I could come. So she lives in a 2 bedroom and in a 3 bedroom actually. So she left a room for us where we could stay, and she and her kids had the other 2 rooms and all that. She's Nigerian by the way, and she
Yeah.
would take care of us. She was the one that helped us with everything we're able to do for the first month we got there. We're really comfortable. I mean, it was like I was still in Nigeria. I don't know if you understand. It was like I was
Yeah.
still at home and I was just living outside. Like even navigating my school, she took us to the school. You know, it was just great and awesome to see someone that you've never met, someone that doesn't even know you from Adam, do
Yeah.
things like that for you, make you feel at home, make you feel comfortable, and not even take anything for it. I mean, she's amazing. She's one of the best and favorite people in my life right now. And I just want to say thank you to her, Sister Taiwo. And her name is Taiwo. She's amazing, she's sweet. I always tell people about her everywhere and anywhere I go to. Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that you mentioned it. And that's just so
Yeah.
funny. I remembered someone that was actually, she did something very cute when I was in
Mm,
Austria. So
okay.
she lived in Austria for how many years? About 20 years or thereabouts. She's lived there for a long time. So but we
Wow.
met on Facebook. So years ago. And I think once of the time she came to Nigeria, we met.
Hmm.
That was the only time we met. Then when
Hmm.
I told her I was coming to, because when I was considering now coming to Germany, I reached out to her based on she'd been in Austria. And I was learning German at the time for
Okay.
any tips. She was like very helpful. So when eventually she heard I was traveling, she said she would come and visit me in Austria. You know how I went to Austria? I lived in the city of Graz. I can't remember the city she lived in, but it's about 3 hour train ride
Okay.
from where I lived.
Hmm.
Her her first son had schooled in the same city I school at my school, university was in. So her son was coming for a friend's party. She called me. She said, I'm sending him food stuff. Meet him so and so place. This woman sends obono,
Wow.
egusi,
Oh my gosh.
bitter leaf, everything. There was no reason for that.
Yeah.
Eventually, because she told me she was going to visit me because I was not sure for a few months. She was like, "I'm going to visit before you leave." One day, I got a text. She said, "I will come to you the next morning." Blah 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 blah. She came. Like I told you, it's about 2 or 3 hours train ride. She came on a train. She came with food. She came with abacha.
Oh
Of
my
course,
god.
as an Igbo person, abacha is very special
Yes.
food to me. I've
Yes.
not had abacha in a while. This man came with abacha. She fried fishes.
Oh
Like
my
it's
god.
not 2 or 3 fish, like about 5, 6 pieces of fish filled up the. That's never a flask. Actually, I came with
Yeah.
the flask to Germany. So I
Oh.
told her, how do I say? She was like, no, don't worry about it. She filled up the flask with fishes, with abacha. I had to share with my friend because I couldn't finish the food.
Yeah.
And she still brought food stuff. Again, this woman don't I don't know her from Adam.
You
Like I
didn't have to
said, it's
do
just
it.
someone
Yeah.
I stumbled on Facebook. We interacted a few times. That was the second time I was seeing her my entire life, and since then I've never seen her.
Wow.
And it's always beautiful when you meet people who just go out on their way to do nice things. And she gave
For
me money
you.
that
Yeah.
day too. It's not
Oh.
big money, didn't solve all my problems, but I will
It
remember
meant
it,
a
like you
lot. I
said.
mean,
It meant a
yeah.
lot. See, that
Yeah.
girl was, when I went, I took that food. I think it's not just because the taste of the food didn't matter. I'm not saying that the food was bad, but it's just like you are filled with so much happiness that you're not even
Yeah.
taking memory of any other thing around you.
Except the fact that
And
sent you the food.
exactly. And I just carried the food and called my friends that lived with me at the time because I knew they were Nigerians too. They ate some of the
Mm.
abacha with me. They ate the fishes. We basically had a good time. And I went back to my house. I was so, so happy for that Sunday. And for
Oh,
like
that's so
1 week, you
nice.
just remember it and you're like, she had no reason to have done
Yeah.
that, if you're
Yeah.
being honest. But
I
just
get
like
it.
this guy is Nigerian and he's here, he just needs some motherly comfort. And this guy just asked me how I was. We didn't
Yeah.
spend she we didn't spend up more than 2 hours on that visit. So just
Mm.
like, how have you been? What's the challenges? How is school going? And after she just asked about my basically my whereabouts and my
Yeah.
experience. She gave me a few tips and then she carried her bag, said she's joined the next train, and that was it.
Oh,
And then
so
after
nice.
periodically she still texts me just to know how
How
I
you are
am, even though I've
doing?
not been in Austria. And I think it's
Oh.
important to share this. I never thought about this, but I think it's important to just remember people like that who
Yeah.
make little sacrifices
Yeah.
and to make our journey easier and make our life
Mm-hmm.
easier.
Mm-hmm. I think we can't forget them in our stories. I mean,
True,
yeah.
true. So now that you've met Auntie Taiwo, she's helped you settle in and you are back to your studies. I think I always like to ask people that came to study, at what point did it hit you that, okay, first of all, whatever is going on in this school is different from what I'm familiar with in Nigeria?
Um, so the point at which he actually hit me was when we're given like I think they give you a month to actually submit a particular assessment and all that. So I'm like, okay, what are these people doing? And it's like they give you a longer period of time to actually like take time, and they'll even tell you in classes that if you know you can't meet up to this time, you send us an email, let us know. So it's like it
Yeah.
was really flexible. I mean, coming from Nigeria, where I studied in Obafemi Awolowo University, you know that studying there is one thing and you have to read like a crazy person. So coming
The
to a soft work here, I mean, like a lecturer asking you or telling you that even if you're not comfortable with that time frame, let us know. We can actually like
yeah,
give you more time to finish the
your
assessment.
work, yeah.
I mean, it was just nice. It was great to see people consider your feelings, consider how you how you're doing mentally, and not enforce you to finish it at that particular time. I mean, that was when I knew, okay, I think I'm in the United Kingdom. Yeah.
Back in, I don't know, I went to Unizik, of course, I think you know that. So
Mm-hmm.
we called Unizik uni stress because it's like you're just stressed once school starts.
To be
And like you said,
honest.
you have lecturers who can, Germans are very serious with time. They don't
Okay.
have, I don't think, they of course, but even at that, they will still give you grace. You can have the grace
Mm-hmm.
of saying, I can't submit this assignment, I'll submit
Yeah.
at a later date.
Mm-hmm.
And it won't be the worst.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to die.
No,
At
nobody's
most
going
they'll
to
just
die,
ask
to
you
be honest.
what the reasons are. And I don't
Yeah.
think because I never the times I had to ask for extension, it was never declined.
Okay. I don't
But
think
I
they
know
do that. I don't they just
yes,
put you first. They feel, oh, you're the one studying and you're not gonna give your best if you're not in your right frame of mind. So for you to ask for an
true.
extension, in the UK, I think the Brits are actually very soft minded. So when you give them any sub story, they just take it. They believe you. So they believe you. They believe anything. They believe anything could happen to you at any point
Yeah,
in time in life. So even if you tell them, like, even if you are lying and you give them that sub story, trust me, they will buy it. They will buy it and even ask for your wealth about your well being and stuff like that.
exactly. I don't think they usually I've never heard them telling somebody no. I'm not that there are
No.
lecturers who might tell people no, but I don't think I ever heard of it. The times I've had to, there was even one time I didn't even give an excuse. I just mentioned that I haven't completed the work at the
Hmm.
time. Okay, it was okay. One, it was a timing issue.
Okay.
The woman had written, I think, the date of the submission, and I think there was 12. I think 12 on the day of submission. So for me, what I assumed it was going to be like, let's say today is 7th, right?
Yeah. 7th of
Today is
April.
7th. So what I assumed was 12 midnight, the one that basically like it's 12 midnight that introduces 8. That's what I
8th.
assumed. What
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know was that her time meant 12 midnight of the 7th.
Oh, okay, okay,
So which
okay.
means basically 11:59 on the
Mm-hmm.
6th I should have submitted. So me,
Yeah.
I went to submit to around 11:50 something because me, I always submit assignment late.
Oh
I
my
submit
God.
around 11:50 something. And we have a platform. We don't send them emails. We have a platform module. That's what we use in my
Okay.
university. I was trying to upload, it was not uploading. I was like, huh?
Yeah, same here. We use Blackboard, I think. Yeah.
Yes, I had to send that email. It was when we now came to class. I realized I wasn't the only one that had the same issue, but she didn't have a problem with that. So when
Yeah.
she sent out the email, she was like, it's fine. There was
That's
no problem.
fine.
I was
That's
like,
okay.
okay.
Yeah. This is
Because I
new.
imagine in Nigeria, some of lecturers will tell you, they will tell you some things that you make you even wonder, well, it's just an assignment, that kind
That's the
of
thing. You
thing.
don't even want to miss it. You don't even want to know what they would tell you. That's the thing.
True,
You would not want to.
to be
You don't
honest, you
want to.
wouldn't want
You
to
don't want to
find
miss
out.
it. Exactly.
Yeah, so but then how did you, because one thing is realizing, like, I mean, if you give me assignments of, luckily my school, they don't give me one. There are a few tasks that they give me up to 1 month, but if you give me a task
Okay.
of 1 month, I'm going to start a day or two before the deadline
Oh
because
my
I'm
god.
like that. But I'm just imagining, because now you have assignments and you know that you can extend deadlines. Do you think it affected the way you worked, or it didn't change anything for you?
So for real, it never changed anything for me.
Okay.
It was just a one-time thing where I was genuinely making more research and I could not finish up at that particular time. So we had to
Okay.
what's it called? We had to come up, have a startup. It was us having a startup, a business startup, a digital startup by ourselves.
Yeah.
How you want to run that particular startup and how you want to make more money. As a matter of fact, I think I have one of the highest in class when they
Okay.
scored the assignment because it was really really practical and I was really involved and really interested about it. So at that time I had not finished that particular because I had to do a lot of things. I had to do UI UX. I had to do a lot of things. I mean, building
Yeah.
websites and all that for the business and all. It was a whole lot of things to do. So me asking for that time at that particular time, it was needed for me, and I was glad the man gave me. And he himself said in a feedback that he said he was glad he gave me that time to actually like finish the task
Finish
because
the work.
yeah,
Yeah.
because he really liked the quality of work I submitted to him and all that. So at that time, I knew, yeah, this could be a really nice thing for me to do. I mean, this could be a really nice, it could be a big deal, yeah, and all that. Yeah, so that was it.
Okay. And now that you also mentioned that being a hands-on assignment, basically, assignment seems to be more practical based.
Hmm.
And what did you study in OAE again?
I studied public administration.
Okay, because I mean, because I studied communication and
Okay.
we had some practical tasks that were basically practical, but
Mhm.
it wasn't everything. And it's
No.
still not, we didn't have, a lecturer would have give at least at most give you 2 or 3 tasks in Unizig.
Yes.
Here, there are lecturers that give you tasks every week. There are
Yes.
ones that give you just one or
Hmm.
two in a semester. Basically, the pattern you don't know. It just depends on the lecturer.
Yeah.
So, and the assignments are more hands-on, like the one in is it like one of the courses I did was what's this course? Something management. It was a management course.
Okay.
And just like your business course, it's like the first talk was to research about the company. We had to choose a company we have. It was a group assignment. Research
Okay.
about the company, make a presentation about the company you've chosen.
Yeah.
That was the first task. It seemed easy. We did all of that. Then the second task, by then they've taught us personal analysis. Now you do a personal analysis of the company you've chosen.
Yeah.
Again, you don't have anything. You're basically judging based on the information you're getting online.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
all of it was basically leading to us to make very concrete managerial positions towards the end of the course. So
Okay.
we did different analysis system. We analyzed the company based on the information we are getting. Those kind of step by step kind of work. And this was a weekly assignment. Like every
Mm-hmm.
week we are doing this. This is me that studied communication that no church. All of a sudden I'm doing management, and it was a very hands-on thing. Like I said, I don't
Yeah.
know. The company I chose was Bayer. We chose
Okay.
rather. So Bayer is a pharmaceutical company. I don't even know about the pharmaceutical companies to be able to understand. One thing is they teach you personal analysis. You're doing it based on information you're getting online.
Yes.
Then they
Yes.
teach you which other analysis? They taught about 3 different analyses. You also have to
Swaps.
analyze. We did SWOT analysis, yes. We have to analyze based on the information you also have about the company. Then now there are time we have to start making decisions. And you're not just going to start making decisions, you're going to make your decision based on this analysis that you've learned.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, because your presentation, you have to also explain what you've done. It was
Hmm.
more practical than most of the work I've done in school. And
Yes.
I tell you, in school,
Mm-hmm.
I did documentary, I produced a radio program and all of that. But it's like, these things like have a pattern, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
But now you are making information again, it's not just you, it's a group work. You're saying this person is saying, like the person I worked on that group, I think we nearly fought each other.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
We nearly support each other. So what I'm saying is now you have more practical based assessments as opposed to the theoretical ones you had.
Mm-hmm.
How did that change your learning experience for you? Before you answer, because I was what I was trying to explain that for me, I found that doing a lot of the practical was making me feel like sometimes I wasn't learning. Like I only
Mm-hmm.
realized the things I've learned towards the end of the semester,
Mm.
or even much later when you're using it in work, at work, or in different places. They're like, okay, this is something I got for this course. So at least it wasn't like I was because it's like I'm just doing things because of the small deadline, the short
Yeah.
deadline, and so it's like I was just doing things.
Mm.
But in Unity, because you are learning theory, you're learning definition of everything, because you know these definitions, you know this step and step approach of things, and you can talk about it. Sometimes you feel like you've known a lot of things.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
get, even though
Yeah.
if you have the chance to do it in practice, you may struggle. But now
Mm-hmm.
you may have chance to do things in practice, you'll be able to do it. But when they ask you to explain the process, sometimes for me, I struggled. So for me, it was a bit hard trying to adapt from the more theoretical based study to a more practical study. So I'm asking you, for you, how was the experience for you? Was it hard for you to also adapt to the practical approach to studies, or did you struggle at any point?
Yeah, so what's it called? While I was having doing my bachelor's degree in OAU, um we're more of what's it called, theoretical, where you read and you give out, you read and you give
Yeah,
out. I thought I was at my best until I came down here and I had that course. It was really, really hands-on for me. I mean, there were times where I had to wake up in the middle of the night to think about how to make my complaint good. I mean, I literally had to make my complaint a very nice complaint. I don't know if you understand. It's like having a
yeah,
baby that you need to nurture that baby and make that baby a great, like make that baby great. It's your life. It's like your life. So
yeah,
it gave me some sort of purpose at that time, and
yeah.
I really liked the feeling it gave me because there's no time. Okay, there was a time I went out in the club with my friends and I was having a nice time, and I just remembered, oh my god, I have a baby. I have a baby. I know. I said, my friend was like, which baby? I was like, my assignment. I'm really thinking about it. And funniest part was I got another idea from the club, and I had to put it in my work and all that. So I had to even go extra miles. Like I had to
Yeah,
do this phone iOS thing where I there was a friend of mine that helped me, Ayobami. He's a UI UX designer. So he
China,
helped me
yeah,
with it. He trained me on how to do it. So while I was doing that Anton, I was learning other things. I was interested in other things. I could see that I could go into event planning, and which is why till now I still organize trips for my friend. I organize outing for my friends, and I think that's what made me realize that, oh, I think I could be a project officer. I think it's something that I really like. The hands-on made me realize that I was more passionate about other things too. Say like
yeah.
organizing trip for my friends. So I organize trips for my friends, would go out, I'll source for outings, I'll source for different things. So in the middle of learning or doing that assignment, I was able to
Yeah.
discover a lot of things. I was sensitive to certain things about myself. So I struggled at the beginning. Actually, I struggled because transiting from that to another thing was not really easy. But when I made up my mind that okay, this is something I have to do and I really have to do it very well, I was able to pick up and I was able to do very well actually. And I'm glad.
I mean that's good to know. And like the thing you
Yeah.
mentioned is because, like I said, sometimes you don't even know the things you're learning.
Mm-hmm.
This some assignments I told you about, the first job I got, I talked about in the interview because
Yeah.
the first job I worked was in the healthcare, it was a healthcare company. I was already doing a research on Bayer, a pharmaceutical company. I brought some of the things I've learned from that task at the time to the interview, and it helped. And I'm also seeing that I've even done another interview where I didn't get the job eventually, but the person seemed very passionate about the thing I was talking about from the task I did. I was even
Mm.
asking a lot of more questions. I'm like, and of course, sometimes when you talk about these things, that you see how helpful it has been.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there were things I learned from doing that task that I interpreted. I took when I was doing my own work at my former workplace, and basically also it taught me a little bit more about organization and even just generally doing research, because when you're researching a company and you're making decisions as if you're running the company, I
Yeah.
think you have to find out things about the company. And sometimes the things you're
Yes.
finding, they are not on the first page of Google. So
Mhm.
it's like
Mhm.
you really have to dig deep. And like you, I think you also begin to learn things you're interested in
Yeah.
because Baba is a pharmaceutical company. I'm beginning to learn that I'm actually very passionate about aging, the aging population as a concept,
Okay.
and because I never paid attention to it, and also it's for me, it's also making me a little more sad about how people die early in in Nigeria, for instance. Now we live in a
Mm.
country, I'm seeing elderly people, and I'm seeing that this is possible because there's a pharmaceutical company like Bayer who that dedicate their research on basically trying to find ways to keep elderly people alive. So,
Yeah.
like you said, you're learning things you're passionate about or interested, even if it's not like passionate, but at least you're interested
Mhm.
in it enough
Mhm.
to even do your extensive personal research. I learned a
Yeah.
lot of things about how what's it called? Care is moving from being this thing where people it's like care is now becoming more personalized. That's
Yeah.
partly because of the COVID-19 and things like that. And eventually we did
Mhm.
a conference at work where we discussed personalized care. It didn't sound
Mm.
like a strange concept to me at this point because again, during that task, I've worked on this, I've read about this, and basically I can see how what I'm saying is sometimes these things are you learn it because you don't know you're learning it until
Yes.
maybe you find yourself in situations where you are using the
Mhm.
knowledge.
Mhm.
And I think it's interesting really when you think about it. It's actually
Yeah,
very
it is.
interesting.
It
Yeah.
is actually no. Imagine a black lady running a Chinese restaurant. So it was an abstract complaint, but it was a Chinese restaurant. So I
Yeah.
needed to learn about certain Chinese culture because I needed to make it as realistic as possible.
As
I needed
possible,
to
yeah.
give it a name. I needed to do a lot of, their culture, the way they cook their food, how you can't be offensive to certain customers. Learning and relearning. It was amazing, I would say. Yeah.
I mean that's fine. And so let's talk about culture shock. What would you describe? What culture shocks did you have when you arrived?
Oh my god. So many. Oh my god. So Nigeria now, how everybody, we are all families, and how
Yeah.
people can just put or chook their mouths into your matter. So I think
Mm-hmm.
the number one culture shock for me is how people mind their business. Oh my god. I mean, yeah, you could do anything, anywhere, and no one will care as long as you're not harming the public, or you're not being mad on the street or something. You could do anything. You could be anything on the street. I mean, that's number one culture shock for me. Nobody, to be honest, I would not want to swear, but nobody cares about what you do. Yeah, nobody cares. Everyone is minding their business. Everyone is on and about their own business. I think that's the number one culture shock for me. And I think that's why most people, they will get here, they will get in the quote and of quote depressed, because I mean, in Nigeria, you get to relate with a lot of people. Yeah, if you don't
Yeah.
talk to them, they won't talk to you. If you don't talk to them, they won't talk to you. If you don't say hi to them, they won't say hi to you. Where I was living previously, I didn't know my neighbors. I mean, I stayed there for a year plus, and I never, as
Yeah.
know my neighbors. I didn't set my eyes on, like, I didn't see my neighbors. So a lot of
Yeah.
things, like people minding their business, and also this PDA thing. Yeah, so in Nigeria, people do PDA when it comes to love affairs. But here, oh my God, it's just another level. You would see people doing a lot of things on the train, in the bus. You are like, God, what is happening? God, what is
That just reminds
happening?
me of something. There's a day, I mean, there's nothing kiss on the road if you want, but there's one thing about
Yeah.
kissing on the road where you're kissing so loudly that I didn't know because I wasn't like this couple. I didn't see them. They were not in my view. Just when I was hearing people's movements kissing, I was like,
Oh my
I
God.
looked. I'm like, how can you be? I don't have a problem with kissing, but how can you kiss that loudly? It was saliva, mouth,
Oh my
tongue,
God.
everything, and I'm like, what?
Oh my god. It's very, very it's a lot here. I mean, they don't care. They don't care for as long as you're not they don't care for you. Yeah. Once they are like once they are lovers or whatever, they're on the train, they just want to express love. They do it, they
Yeah.
don't care. I think that's one of the culture shock for me. In terms of food too, their food, I mean, they have different varieties of food. I mean, so many things. I mean, I'm someone that would love to try new things and all that, but
Yeah.
getting here, you see certain things. It's them eating certain things. You're like, okay, what is happening? Why are you people
Mm-mm.
eating this thing? Why are you even eating? Is this even LD? Is this a food? But as a matter of fact, a lot of things. I mean, you learn every day. I'm
Yeah.
like I've stayed in the UK for 2 years now, and I think there's still so many things that when I see them, I still get like I'm still shocked seeing them because
Yeah.
I mean, what is happening? This doesn't happen. So and also the first name basis where you call people by first name. In Nigeria, you have to like as a Nigerian or as a girl from the
Yes.
West, you have to be respectful. So coming here and you're calling like I've worked with a 50 something year old woman and she's like, "Oh, my name is Doris." And I'm like, "Okay, Doris." As in calling the name, as in calling her by name was I was
Yeah.
really reluctant at a particular time, but then I learned to like, okay, this is what these people like or this is how they behave here. So you just have to when you are in Rome, you behave like a Roman. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What about name? Do you know what I navigate? I don't know. I think it might be rude to some extent.
Yeah.
When you're talking to someone, you avoid calling them anything.
Yes.
That's how I navigate that. Because I'm like, no, my
Okay.
mother would not approve. Please.
Don't do this.
Because it's
Oh
like,
my god.
how are you 50? You're old enough to be my father, and you say I should call you
Hmm.
my first name. Why are we doing that?
You
So
get.
it's like you find a way to talk to them without
Mm-hmm.
basically addressing them as something. And of course, when you're
Yeah.
writing email, for instance, you have to call them by their
By
time. Like it's
name.
not yes. So
Mm-hmm.
what it's like if like you said Doris, maybe let's say her name is Doris Smith. I write an email, I'll have to write Mrs. If she's a Mrs. Smith,
Yeah.
instead of saying because me, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want let's not do that, please. And the other thing, I used to think I'm open minded. I used to think it's okay for people to call. I love it when I see it in films. But when
Yeah.
you're put in the situation, you're like,
They're like, okay,
take a
what is
step
happening
back,
here?
you know?
Yeah. So I mean,
But
you
yeah,
learn every day. I don't know. You learn every day. So
true. So you mentioned something about people being depressed because they don't are not able to like mingle and maybe build connections. So
hmm
how have you been able to navigate that to make sure that you don't? Because I know the loneliness part is a thing. I actually did an
it is
episode
a
called the
thing. Oh my
loneliness
god.
episode, and that episode we just talked about loneliness, and the
Oh my
guest was
god.
also someone from the UK. I also did another episode where I talked about building a community
Yeah.
and basically because these are things that people are really struggling with. So
Yes.
for you, how did you manage to make sure you live a decent life and still have interactions and relationships that doesn't so much so that you don't feel lonely or alone?
Yeah. So I would say, so for me, the kind of person I am, I don't think I can what's it called? I can stop or not go out. I mean, visiting new places it
Yeah,
makes me really happy. Traveling makes me really happy. And by doing that, I've met a lot of people. I mean, I could go out and I could just be vibing. Like last time I went out with my friends, we're just vibing where we were, and some girls just came to meet us. We exchanged contacts, and we're
yeah.
not friends yet, but we're acquaintance and all. We're able to
Acquaintances,
chat,
yeah.
yeah, and all that. So I feel I was able to navigate it by going out more. I was able to navigate it
Okay.
by going out, going to church, meeting people, talking to people. So like if you're in your house, if you all you just do is maybe go to work, go to school, come back, do what you have to do. You won't meet anybody because in school everybody's like minding their business except you're actually like trying to build a community in school. But if you're not,
Yeah,
then you won't meet anybody because all your routine will just be your house, your church, school, work, and you're back home. So I mean, these things is just going to be your routine over and over again. But for me, I had to like do more for myself. I needed to go out, go to the club, travel, meet people, go to restaurants, meet like try to like vibe. When people see that you have this positive vibe and
Yeah.
energy, they tend to like tilt towards your side, and they tend to like try to know what you're doing and all that. So I think that was how I was able to navigate the whole thing. And I can say now that I have like actually organizing I organized a trip for May where we're going to Greece, and I have 6 people. We're actually going with 6 people. We were actually supposed to be 20, but the hotel couldn't take 20 people. So we had to like
How
divide.
how do you even know 20 people, please?
So we had to like divide the whole thing. And still, when I talk about it, people are still interested and saying, "Oh,
Yes,
please, when
because
you have another trip, I want to go. When you have another trip, I
first of
want to
all,
go."
how do you know 20 people?
Oh my
I've never
god.
met 20. I don't have up to 20 contacts in Germany.
Are you
20? No, I don't
serious?
have up to 20. I don't have up to 20 contacts in Germany.
Oh my
I
gosh.
have more than 10, around 10-ish, around
Okay.
that range, but I
I
don't have up to 20.
so I'm someone that I think I'm someone that if you
I mean, you're a very
introduce your
social
friend to me,
person, so yeah,
yeah, if you introduce your friend to me, your friend might vibe with me more than I'm not a friend snatcher, but your friend might vibe with me more than more than the vibe with you. I mean, it's just a matter of keeping that positive energy. You don't have to be serious all
true.
the time. Yeah, being life is a joke actually, but you don't have to be all serious and all that. Sometimes you just have to make way for yourself to have fun, feel life. I mean, experience it, live in the present. I mean, that's what I'm doing because I know that my age is not going to stay, it's not going to be stagnant, or I'm not going to be young
Yeah,
forever. So I want to do a lot of
true.
things while I'm young. I want to explore. I was talking about skydiving the other time, and everyone was like, "No, you can't skydive. You can't skydive. What if you fall? Let me still fall now. Let me fall. JB is me. Let me fall." You get when you do things like that, you enjoy life. I mean, I want to tell my kids that, yeah, like
I did it all.
I mean, I lived and all. So yeah,
I think that sounds fun too. I mean, I would encourage you to
yeah.
do skydiving, but I'm going
I
to tell you
am.
this. I did zip lining. I wanted
Okay.
to do it for such a long time. When I did it, I
Yeah.
realized that this is not my vibe. But that's the thing. If you don't do it, you will never find out,
Yeah, you
right?
never find out. But I think skydiving is going to be my thing because I'm more of an adventurous person. Trust me, I know when it is very, very unsafe, but I mean, there are certain things I really want to do. I really want to fly, and I want to see what it looks like flying. I mean, it's like talking about it, it sounds like amazing
Yes,
talking about it and exciting. So
I
I
see
really
what you
love to do it.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, like me, so the thing, because I always thought it's going to be amazing being on the sky. So the thing
Yeah.
I found I struggle with was like, you know how it was that realization that I'm up here,
Yeah.
but I just don't have control over it. And for me, I
Mm,
like to have control of my situation. So it's
yeah.
like I'm up here. It's not a bad experience, but it's just like, but I can't just get down. She get like if I
So
cannot vex and say, let me come up from this place, that kind of thing. I'm
so
like, that's not a good way to live. And of
So
course, it's like a
can I
short
ask you
span. Yeah, go
a
ahead.
question? Can I ask you a
Yeah,
question? Do you always have control of every situation you've been in?
that's the funny thing.
No.
Ironically, no.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
half the time when I tell you I'm stressed, it's actually because I feel like I've lost control of my situation. Once I feel like I'm losing control, it causes me stress. So the thing,
Oh,
it's funny, but I realize it's not the fear I had. It's not just the annoyance of the fact that I cannot walk out of this zip line
at
because I
any
want
time.
to.
Yeah.
And because the one I did was not just a straight path, it was like
Oh.
a round trip.
Oh my God. That sounds so
So it's
nice.
yeah, so it's like a short trip, like 100 meter here, another 200 meter there, basically round short, very short distances.
Yeah.
But it's like, and I'm like, and you can't go back. So it's like, if I change my mind here, that's not
I
what I was
can't
thinking
go
in that
back.
on that place. So if I change now that there's someone was like, I cannot go back, but I cannot because the way it has been designed, it's forward ever, backward
Back
never.
or
I'm
never.
like, which kind of life is this? But it was actually a good thing. Like you said, it's
Yeah.
even if you try it and it's not your vibe, it's not a
Mm-hmm.
problem. You've just tried it
Yeah.
and it's not your vibe, and you go for something else, and then life goes on.
I think it's actually going to be my vibe because last time I went to Blackpool, I went to there was this very very high what's it called, roller coaster. It was really
Okay.
really high. Everyone was running from it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. My friend was like, oh, you're going to puke. I'm like, let me puke first. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this first, and I did it. And trust me, it's one of the best experience I've ever had. Like, I mean, it was the feeling. It was like my soul was leaving my body. I mean, it was
Okay,
really
now you love
exciting.
thrills.
Yes, I do.
So the one I went on a roller coaster. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I think I'm going to give it this. This is not a professional advice, but if you're going to go on a roller coaster,
Mm,
don't eat immediately before. I
yeah.
ate like an hour or two before. So after a while, do you know, I did if I had lasted there for another a minute more, maybe a few seconds, I'm actually have
Mhm.
thrown up.
Oh
Like I
my
was
god.
getting to that point where I could feel, you know how you could feel the food like on your
On your
chest.
chest.
It's just
Yes.
waiting for some trigger. And you know what I
Hmm.
ate? And because I didn't know I was going to do that, I just said I was going to the park to see what it's like and
Yeah.
decide if it's something I will do or not. Then a friend said, let's do it. I was like, okay, let's do it. And then before I knew it, my chest, I could feel, I could actually begin to feel the smell. I cooked egusi soup that day.
Oh my
I
god.
got to feel the smell of the food in my mouth. So
Oh my
just
god.
waiting for the right moment for everything to
Come
run
out.
out. But thankfully, God did not allow me to be embarrassed.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
But yeah, like and that thing, I don't think again, I think it's about having different tastes. It's okay, like,
Yeah.
even if my own is, if you want to do anything, give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
And if it works, fine, you enjoy it,
Fine.
good. If it
Yeah.
doesn't, okay, nothing
But
spoil.
you can't actually be in your comfort zone all the time.
Exactly.
So
Sometimes you just have to,
sometimes,
yeah,
yeah, you have to like do things that you are not really comfortable with. I mean, that's life, that's living. That's what we call by like you living in the moment, like living in the moment, doing things you're not comfortable with, doing new things. I mean, today we learned about growing, like growth. Growth is pain. You have to like feel certain things like in order to
yeah.
grow and experience. I mean, yeah, that's it. So
Fair enough. Now let's talk about the job market. Because I think we've talked about school, talked a little about our integration. Let's talk about
yeah.
the job. Now you are done with studies, because I think this is a very big issue for Nigerians who live in the diaspora.
Yeah.
Once you're done with study, you have to get a job, except they'll show you back, they'll push you back home, which is
Yes.
something nobody wants. So how
No.
does one get a job in the UK after their study? What did you do to ensure you got a job? And what's the timeline between when you finish your studies and when you got your first job?
Okay, so like I said, that the assessment I did, the
Yeah,
hands-on assessment really helped me and it gave me some level of confidence. I mean, when the results came out, and I started applying to different companies, though I got loads of reject mail. Oh my god, I got loads of them, loads of them. Due to I don't know, a lot of reasons like for them because I knew my application or my CV was really really nice, but
yeah,
I got loads of rejection, but that just at the point I wanted to give up and say, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. It's just really not nice. Or when I have friends like Nike, I have friends like Esther, where they are telling you that it might
it's
it might
possible.
seem
Yeah,
impossible, but it's very, very possible. So I had to learn and unlearn things. I mean, I made YouTube my friend. I was able to learn some skills from YouTube. I even at a point I went into data virtualization using Edurica. I learned a lot of things. YouTube, I was able to, I even paid. I made payments, so many like I made sacrifices. I would
yeah,
sacrifice money, time, everything in order to learn certain things so that I can fit in. So the first thing I did was okay, this role I know I'm going to be maybe a project officer. I go there, I see what they want, what they would like you to have as a project
yeah.
officer. Then I'll assess myself on okay, do I have this? Do I have this? How do I get this? How do I navigate to get this and all that? So one thing about them here is if you are very, very qualified, you will get the job. It might not be immediately, but you definitely something will definitely come for you when you have the skills and you have the skills and you know what you're doing. You definitely get what you want. Yeah, it might not be immediately. Yeah, and it's not easy. The job market is not easy. It's crazy down there, but
It's crazy.
yeah, once you know what you want, once you are trying to navigate, you know this is what I want and I'm like by all means I would get it. I mean, they always say something that once you have it in your mind, you have it in your hand. Might not necessarily be true all the time, but I feel like in this case, once you know that this is what I want, you're working towards getting that thing
Yeah,
and you're getting different advice from people that have done it before. You're praying. Oh my god, you're prayerful when you're like I don't like I can't even overemphasize how the power of prayer
prayers.
works. Yeah, you have to like walk, you have to take charge. It gives you that confidence. It helps you navigate um through that difficult situation that you are trying to pass through and all. So it wasn't a very very nice journey for me. It was really really crazy. I mean, I think I starred all the reject mail I have, and I think I have over 100 of them or so. So
You
it was.
start them.
Yes, I started them. So it wasn't a nice experience. But I knew what I wanted. I knew, okay, this is what I wanted, and I was able to get advice from my friends, from YouTube, from different people that have done it before, LinkedIn and all that. So then I was able to like go through and get a particular
New
firm
skills,
where,
yeah.
yeah, new skills and all. Then I applied for a role and I got the interview and I got the job. Yeah, so that it just happened, even
Yeah.
without me knowing that. Like even the one that I knew, I was thinking that was okay. I'm definitely going to get this job. I didn't get the role. It was the
I
one
know
that
sometimes
was.
it happens, yeah.
Yeah, it was the one that I least expected that I got, and yeah, it's been nice since then. So I feel once you have the skills in the UK, yeah, once you have that skills and you're prayerful and you know what you want, you're gonna get it. You're just gonna get
So
it.
what was the timeline between when you finished your studies and when you got your job?
So the timeline between when I finished my studies and when I got a job, I think it was about 4 or 5 months. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think it's important to ask because sometimes people think the timelines are different for everybody, let's be
Mm-hmm.
honest. It's possible
Yes, yes.
to, like the first job I did in Germany, it was
Mhm.
3 months. I actually got the job. I like 3 months after I came to Germany, that I spent
Wow.
like I had like a 1 month period before I started.
Okay.
But I had a friend, or two of my friends, they got theirs within the first month of arrival. Like one
Exactly.
person
So
said it was the first job he applied for. He got
oh
an interview. So it was like, and I have another friend who eventually, because this were student roles,
yeah.
basically we have student jobs here.
Yes.
So I have another friend who had tried and given up and was now doing um warehouse job and all of that until another person encouraged him to go back to it. Her rather. And then the funny thing, this lady has moved from the first to the second and the third. She was like, as if once you open that
Wow.
door, the jobs never stopped
It just keep
coming.
yeah, it just keeps
Yes,
opening.
so what I'm saying is, I'm just saying it to encourage anybody who might be in that position where they are looking for a job and it's not coming. The
Yeah.
timelines are different for
Timelines are
everybody.
different. I mean,
And
timelines are
while some
different.
can get theirs in a month, some would take up to even a year.
A
That may not be
year.
what we
Yes,
want,
a
but yeah,
year.
it's possible. So what
Yeah.
the point is basically, I think what I've noticed is start applying on time. That
Yes, that was what
helps.
I did. I started applying
Yeah.
on time and all. Yeah.
So yeah, so that gives you enough time to also see the rejections and see if you
Hmm.
can improve on
Work
this
on
or that,
yourself. Yes.
and gives you time to work on things you might need to work on if you need new skills and all of that. But I think
Hmm.
yeah, just keep on applying and hopefully something is going to come. Because
Yeah.
as much as we may not accept it, getting a job is part luck, part your effort. But the
Yes.
luck would not happen if you don't put
If
in
you
the
don't have the
effort.
efforts, yes. So a friend of
Exactly.
mine recently or is recently moving from tech to health. So
Okay.
yeah, so she said she's been working in tech for a very long time and she's bored. I mean, she said this is someone that she knows what she's doing, she's everything. And she
Yeah.
just said she just wants to study nursing. I mean, she wants to go into nursing. I mean, if you are in any, I think UK, Canada, or US or so, their health sector, they make a lot of money and like they pay you very well and all. Maybe
Yeah.
not the UK. UK does not really pay much, but US and Canada they pay very very high and all that. So she's saying she wants to move into nursing, and from nursing she wants to navigate herself into like tech nursing and all that. So I
Yeah.
mean, the learning never stops. Like
True.
once you keep learning and learning, you as in the sky is just the limit. You can be anything you want, literally. Like you can be anything you want. So
Yeah.
learning is
That
like
makes sense. True. Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I actually have a friend too who what did that man is in his 50s or rather around about, he's an elderly friend. So he has done like that man has moved from one industry to the other. He worked when he was in Nigeria, he worked in the he was a hotel manager or something. Then he
Okay.
moved to the UK, he worked in healthcare and now I can't remember. He moved to tech at some point, and then he
Mm-hmm.
moved away from tech to something else. So basically, what I'm saying is, yes, like you said, it's possible to keep actually move. And one
Mm-hmm.
of the things I actually like about that is I can't remember some of the things he has done, but because I remember there was now he was talking about he has done about five different six jobs within the
Wow.
span of he's in his early 50s.
Wow.
For some, I
Imagine.
think healthcare was the longest, where he worked for about 10 years, 10 to 15 years. That was the longest. But
Wow.
he just kept on moving. If his interest
Yeah.
changes, he started learning new things. He takes a
Yeah.
new course and
Mhm.
he keeps on
Keeps on
pivoting
improving himself. I
and
mean,
then keep on pivoting and then it's
yeah.
fine. And it works that way too.
Hmm. So in this western part of the country, your age does not matter as long as you want to learn. Your age does
Yeah.
not matter. You can be anything you want to be honest. And it's very, very nice to see.
And actually, it's one of the things I like about being in Europe
Yeah.
because they're not so restricted. I don't think, I
Yeah.
mean, there are times that you get asked your age in an interview, but I don't think it has ever really mattered.
No, no, it doesn't because you could actually sue them for discrimination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is another thing I noticed, because I don't know, did they when they send rejection emails, did they give you reasons in the UK?
No,
'Cause I
no.
learned from my former boss that why they don't do that is because they don't want to
They
run
don't
into
want you to
legal
sue them.
issues.
Yes,
Yes,
because you could sue
because
them.
they can say that you didn't qualify because of XYZ, and then you can go to court and say that maybe the person they gave the job doesn't also qualify in
Yes.
XYZ, and then it becomes a
Yes.
legal thing, and the
Yeah.
next thing, I'm like, really? I
Yes.
didn't know that.
Yeah. You know, a lot of things I feel they just want everybody to be they want everybody to be heard and seen here, I think.
Yeah.
So that's just it. And it's really nice to see actually. So yeah.
I mean, I think it's actually very nice when you feel like at least people are seeing you
Yeah.
and hearing you. And this is aside the racism thing that we hear about. And of course, I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist, but
Yeah, it does. It
just
does.
knowing that regardless of it, even if people don't like it, sometimes they can pretend
Yes. It's
in a
it's
way
gonna be
that
subtle. It's going to be subtle
exactly,
racism. Yeah. It's
yeah,
not gonna
because
be
they
in
know
your
that if
face.
they mess up, you
It
might
might end
sue
up in
them.
court. Yeah.
Exactly. And so to avoid it, they'll sharp pretend. And I
So
think I can live with that, to be honest.
yeah. So yeah. You could actually like report bosses. You could report bosses to their firm. I mean,
Yeah.
bus drivers. Once you think they are being racist towards you, you could report them. There's a number you can call. Even at work, they'll put it everywhere. There's this number. You should call this number once you feel
Yeah.
there's like you're being like someone is being racist towards you and all that. So it's very nice to see. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk briefly about work. Now you've gotten your job and you've
Yeah.
started. I mean, you worked in Nigeria too. So how
Yeah.
different is the work experience in Nigeria compared to what you're having now in terms of the work relationship, in terms of the workload and anything at all?
Yeah, so working in Nigeria, I mean everything in Nigeria is always extra. I always say something that once you live in Nigeria, you can live anywhere. You can live anywhere to be honest. And working here is actually chilled, like very chilled. Yeah, there's some times where you have to do a lot of things at the same time. But trust me, they are really considerate about your health, especially your mental health here. I mean, last week a colleague of mine was submitting or going for a break of mental health break. Like he's been having a lot of like things doing with his personal life and
Yeah.
work life, so he can't balance both of them at the same time. So he had to take a break. So in terms of that, people are really like they're gracious here where they give you time. You have time to yourself. Yeah, there are some times that it can be very, very crazy for you. But at the same time, you know that it's just because it's like that. Unlike working in a bank, I mean, I'm always stressed most of the time. Not from the just the work now, from the people that you work with. I mean, it's one thing to actually work with nice and amazing people, and it's another thing to work with really, really like terrible people where you see, oh my God, this job is not hard, but it's just the people. So yeah, you
Yeah.
have both the people are nice and you don't have to go into work every day. You could work from home sometimes and go in most times. I mean, 60% hybrid. So it's actually very, very nice. It's like now I'm more settled, I'm more calm. You could think very well as an individual and all that. You get
Yeah.
So so it's way different. The difference is actually much and all. So
Yeah, I mean,
different
to be
treatment.
fair, I agree. Though I think sometimes I like Nigerian office, well, if not for anything, for the gossip, please.
Yeah, they gossip. Oh my god. Do you know that um Brits, they gossip more than black folks or we
Really?
blacks?
I didn't know that.
Oh
I didn't
my
know
god.
that.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
tell me
They
more.
gossip. They gossip a lot. Oh my god. I mean, the level of gossip, they're not really like, they don't know how to mouse words. They go into
Yeah,
details. Once they want to tell you something, they go. I mean, okay, there was a particular lady. She had
yeah.
just came back from maternity leave and she came back pregnant again. So when she came
Okay.
back pregnant, when she came back pregnant again, she's like, oh, you're looking at my tummy. Yeah, I did it again. I had sex again. You get stuff like that. So they are
How would
really,
she
and
say that? What?
other people, when she was not there, they started gossiping about her and like, oh, she's going for another maternity leave and all that. Must she have sex all the time? You get Brits are not, they don't know how to like mouse words. They are, oh my god, they are great
Okay, no, I
gossips.
think I still prefer Nigeria's gossip because at least those.
Oh
I
my
mean, I
god.
think it's also interesting to hear because I know I
Yeah.
have the first time I spoke to someone in the UK,
Yeah.
but she works in finance. So according
Okay.
to him, the office people are still very they don't do a lot of cho. I spoke
Okay.
to someone that works in fashion. He said in our office they do a lot of gossip, and I think
Oh
now
my
it's
god.
very you also talk about other people gossip in your office. In
They
my
do.
office here, oh, we don't gossip anything, no. Except the gossip
Eh?
I don't used to. Oh, nobody has that time.
Are you serious?
No. Nobody does that. Just everybody comes and work. Every time we are sitting, it's basically, what did you do this weekend? What did you do? I'm
Oh my
like,
god.
can't
What
people
is
talk
this?
about other things? Who is messing up in this office? Who do we all of us hate? That kind of thing. Nobody says a word. I'm like,
Right.
what kind of
Right.
thing is this? But in Nigeria, at least once you come to the office, just let's
You
pay
have gist.
attention. In
Oh
two
my
days,
god.
you know who everybody hates in the office, know
To
who
be
is
honest,
everybody's favorite,
you
and
know
all
what is
of that.
happening.
And you know how who to avoid and kin, you know those kinds of things. But here you don't
Yes.
know.
Oh my god. Hmm.
But it's
So it's,
fine. So
yeah,
basically,
it's
how have you been able to? You wanted to say something? Go ahead.
no. Let me hear your question.
So I mean, so basically, what I hear from you is that you're actually having a good time at work.
Yeah, not a good time all the time, but
Of
I
course.
mean most of most of the time, yeah, good time, yeah.
Yeah. I mean that sounds nice. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it
actually
is.
I'm actually very excited for you, particularly because it's like you. It's one thing to travel and one thing to find the right job that suits you and you're actually doing it and you're working in a nice place.
Yeah.
Because being lucky to find a good work environment, it doesn't come easy because like people can be
No.
very difficult. But having a
Yes.
good work environment that you like, I think it's something
It's amazing actually.
exciting, yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm truly happy for you.
Thank you.
So, how do you now navigate your relationship with your family back home? I know you're very close to your mom and you're close to your
Yeah.
siblings. So, how do you
Yeah.
manage to navigate the relationship you have? And even some of your colleagues from work. I remember
Mm-hmm.
you're still close to, I think this, I'm very sure you're still close to the CSR, right?
Yes, yes, I am.
So,
I am.
how
She
do you,
came to
that
the
one was a
UK
nice
last
Zoom.
year. She came to the UK
Oh,
last year.
really?
Yes, she came to the UK last year. It was nice. My mom, yeah, we talk every day. I mean, we talk for hours and hours. I'm very close to my mom. My mom also came last year. Um, my brother's one of my brother is here. Another one is planning
Okay.
to come into. I mean, so it's like not being far away from home and all that, but
Yeah.
it's not hard. I mean, it's hard, but at the same time it's not hard because most of my friends back home, everyone has japa. So like literally you have to like keep track of time zone. Imagine having
Oh,
someone
God. Tell me about
someone
it.
in Canada, in US, the time zone are different. And I am very grateful I'm in the UK because I can actually like talk to my mom because we are in the same time zone and all that. So that
Yeah.
really helped to, yeah, it's not been easy. I mean, I miss Owambe. I miss having that close relationship with my family, like
Yeah.
going for family meetings, arguing, seeing fights happen, things like that, exciting things like that. I miss all of that, but at the same time, I'm grateful and yeah.
When you said you'd be so
Interesting.
warm, I just remembered something. Back at
Okay.
work, you used to dress very well.
Okay.
And so do you still dress like that in the UK? Because I know in Europe, I don't
Yeah,
know about UK, but
so
I know in Germany, people don't dress that much to work. They wear jeans all the time. So do you still keep up with the dress? No, you have adapted to the UK. I don't know how do even British people dress to work? I don't really know.
to be honest, once that code eats you, I don't think you remember
Eh,
any dressing like that. So yeah,
I swear.
I still dress good, but at the same time, you
Go ahead.
can drip in trench coat and all that,
You
but
can
it
drip in
doesn't give that
winter.
same vibe. That you can you can drip in winter, but your drip has to like be very code sensitive and you have to be code
Yes.
sensitive and all that. So like yeah, I still dress nice, but you need to like consider your weather because yeah, in Manchester it could be sunny this moment and it could just start raining immediately. So you have to like dress for the weather. You have to like be prepared. You have to hold your umbrella. You have to you have to wear clothes that are very very thick, if not two three. So you need to like be prepared and all that. So yeah.
See, this thing you talk about dressing for the weather. I mean, not like I'm even the most fashionable person, but right now I'm just so weather focused. I'm like,
Right.
what kind of thing is this? You can't even say I want to dress. Sometimes you just want to wear a colorful outfit just to look a certain type
Yeah.
of way. You cannot just talk about do it.
Sometimes I just want
Just
to wear heels and short skirts. I
you
can't.
get.
I can't. So it's
It's
just
but yeah, and
yeah.
I have a backpack all the time because I have to have an umbrella in it. Because if
Exactly.
I
You
don't
have to
have the
have a lot of
backpack, I'll
things.
forget the
Yeah.
umbrella at home,
Mhm.
wherever.
Mhm.
So I have to have a backpack because umbrella has to be in it. Which is why I don't like spring. I think spring is actually the worst weather for me because it's like 1 minute it's sunny and the next is cold. And sometimes in
To be
spring,
honest,
sometimes you
it
walk in the shadow,
rains.
you are cold. You
Mhm.
walk in the sun, it disappears. Like, why?
To
Because
be
if it's
honest,
winter, you know what to expect. If it's summer, you know what to
you know
expect. But
your code
spring is
exactly.
just
Spring, like
up
it could
and
be windy
down.
this particular
Ah,
time. It could start raining. It could be sunny. I mean, the weather is bipolar, and it's just funny. It's just funny. It's so funny.
but I mean, this has been a very interesting conversation. I think it's important we
Yeah.
round off. So I'm going to
Okay.
ask you if someone is coming to the UK. I mean, you said like a brother is planning to come. So if you're going to advise
Mhm.
someone who is coming to the UK to study or even to
Yeah.
work, what advice would you give them?
Okay, so I think the first thing is to come with God. I mean, you need to pray, like just commit everything to God and you just see things work out for you. So if you're coming to study, you need to like make research about the courses that you're coming. So most people, the mistake they made was, "Oh, okay, I just want to go to the UK. I don't care. Just give me any course. I don't mind." So I was giving a particular, I think I was giving management also. I rejected it. I told them you have to like if you don't give me this particular course, I'm not coming. So I can't have this particular like CV, like this particular certificate with me, and it
Yeah.
doesn't just make sense. And I'm not saying apologies to management student and all, but I mean,
It can
like
be
you need
something
to,
someone else wants and is
yeah, it
important
could
to
be, yeah,
them and
but
it's
I'm
not
just saying
important to
something.
someone else.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just saying it has to be something that is happening, is going with the trend now, something that is
Yeah.
employable and all that. So yeah, you need to make research about where you're living, where you're going to live. I mean, the kind of things that are happening there, old money. If you're coming to study and you don't have anybody, old money, oh. Old money because I mean it's not you don't get to work immediately. You don't get people mind their business a lot here. I say it.
Yeah.
People mind their business a lot and it's going to take time and join community if you can join like WhatsApp group, church. Oh my God, church. Church would help you to. I mean, a lot of things like that. Try to like look for a community near your like where you're going to live or your school or whatever.
Yeah.
Join them. You can make friends. You can meet people. You can get help from there. So a lot of things like that. Yeah. So I think coming with God, making research about where you're staying, and joining the community. Yeah.
Yeah. I think these are very great advice, I
Mm-hmm.
would say. And the issue about community, it's not, see, I think that's actually the most important, I wouldn't say the most important, but I think it's a very important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we say community, but community doesn't have to be plenty people. Sometimes community can just be
No.
one person. This is also
Yes.
why I
Yes.
always advise people. if you don't know anybody already in the city, go to LinkedIn because I think LinkedIn is
Mm-hmm.
one place you can easily meet people. Just go to
Yes.
the location you are going to, Manchester,
Mm-hmm.
type Manchester on your search button. The way LinkedIn
Something will
work, you're
come
going
out
to find other Nigerians or people who have things in common with you that
that
live
are
in
living there.
Manchester. And
Yes.
because you're in
Yes.
Nigeria, you're going to see Nigerians. You're going to
Yes.
see people who have studied the things you've studied. You might see someone from your former university. That's
Yes. That
basically
can give
the
you
way
tips
to
and all.
exactly reach out
Yeah.
to people. Sometimes those are people that welcome you at the airports. Those are people
Mm-hmm.
that would show you the next African store.
That will
Those are the
show
people that
you
would
love. That
show
will go out
you
with you. Yeah.
exactly. So those are the things. And when you even come, even if you come and you don't know anybody, start looking for people
To be honest.
because those people are going to do so much for you. I
So
think
much.
my life in Germany has been, I say it all the time on this podcast because I came with two Nigerians at the same time. We're in the same program. So it's like, and luckily for us, we live in the same building, not in the same apartment, but in the same
Same
building,
building.
which means we're all a phone call, a
Friends.
text message
Yeah.
away from each other.
Yeah.
And that has made it life easy for me because I, I didn't have to look for an African store because they came here a few days before me. By the time I came, they're already like, okay, let's go.
They've
They've shown me
navigated
the
everything
place
for you.
exactly. When I have any problem, I just know that I can talk to people who understand the problem in the context of everything because it's like whatever problem I'm having that is has to do with my stay in Germany, they understand it because it's a problem they could also have.
Yeah.
And they're very eager to help solve it because they also understand that if we solve yours, if it comes to any of us, we can already know what to do. That
Help
kind
each
of
other.
thing. And
Yeah.
when we need to go out, we go out together. Valentine's Day, we went
Exactly.
out together.
Exactly.
Easter would have gone out together, but some of us travel. So basically, whenever we need to do anything, we do it
You
together.
guys
And
are
it
there
has
for each
made
other.
life exactly made
Yeah.
life so much easier. And I wouldn't know what I would have done if
Without
I
them.
am here all by myself because I don't know who would I have called. So your community is very important and
Yes. Very,
it's very
very,
important. And I'm
very,
glad that you've
very.
mentioned it. And also you mentioned something about money
Yes, so
and people not being
money.
able to work immediately. I think that's another thing. They will tell you, at least on Twitter, that once you get in, there's a lot of job, blah, 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 blah. There are
Hmm.
jobs,
Yeah,
but
their
before you
jobs.
finish your city registration, do your get your residence permit if it's a country that doesn't give residence permit
Mm-hmm.
in Nigeria. By the time you do all those registrations, settle in, 1 month has passed,
Yes.
and you have to eat. You have to
Hmm.
pay rent.
Parents.
So
Because you can't live on someone for that long. You need to like,
exactly.
except the person is your
So
partner or something.
yeah.
So
So basically plan for that as if you just
mhm.
plan at least for at least two
Plan
or
for
three
three
months.
months. 3 months. I
Yeah.
did
So that
plan
by the
for three
time
months.
yeah, by the time you settle in and find the job, you have something to eat. And sure carry food come because we also come with food.
Carry food. Yes.
It saves you
Yeah.
money because
It
that
saves
way
you a
you
lot
just
of money,
cook your jollof rice and your
to be
egusi
honest.
soup. You don't have to buy
And
anything.
you're fine. Yeah.
Exactly.
Saves you
But
a
this
lot
has
of
been a very
money.
interesting, exactly. This has been a very interesting conversation, and I thank you so much for agreeing to do
Yeah.
this. I really
Thank you for
appreciate
having
you
me
for your
too.
time.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
All right. So if you've listened to this part of the podcast, thank you for joining on this episode, and I hope you have a good time, or at least you learned something from the podcast. And please come back for the next episode. Remember to follow and subscribe on your preferred streaming platform. Share, leave a comment, and if you use Spotify, you can leave a comment. And do have yourself a wonderful day. Enjoy.
Yeah. Bye.